I grew up in a small home with a loving family. It was me, my mom, my dad, and a couple of siblings. My dad grew up playing the original arcade games, and that's a part of the reason why I have such a love for video games. But the main one who played games in our home was my older brother. He taught me how to play Mario Kart, Animal Crossing,
Nintendo.
Pikmin, and even Need for Speed. He had just a GameCube and an Xbox for the longest time, though I was only allowed to play on the Xbox once because I was too little. They were his even though we were allowed to play on the GameCube with his permission. But in 2010, on Christmas Day, we opened a gift that changed everything, a Nintendo Wii. The reason it changed everything is because the Wii was to be shared 3 ways between us, which for the most part made us argue less. I have fond memories of making Miis with my friends and family. The Wii was the first time I felt like I was actually a part of the game, thanks to the Miis. Animal Crossing had a whole different feel, and Mario Kart was on a completely new level of fun. The fact that I could feel like I was riding a motorcycle in Coconut Mall with Mario and Bowser was mind-blowing for me. I still played GameCube games on the Wii. It wasn't until I was older that I could appreciate the Thousand Year Door. I watched my brother play it when I was too young to read, but when I finally did play it, boy was I in for a treat. The story was second to none, and the dialogue was so good it occasionally brought me to tears. It taught me that a game doesn't have to be just a game. It could be a playable novel, and not just a novel, but a masterpiece. Yes, there are a small number of things about it I don't like, but just like people, it doesn't have to be perfect. I've always been captivated by a good story. I can never seem to get enough of them, like the story of Super Paper Mario. Splatoon 3 Story Mode. And even confusing ones like Smash Bros. Brawl. I eventually got my own 2DS. It was the first console which was just mine. It was given to me on my birthday and came with Mario Kart 7 pre-installed, as well as I was also given LEGO Star Wars, both of which I had a blast playing. Not long after, I used some gift cards as given for Animal Crossing New Leaf. It's one of, if not the best in the series. You could do more than just decorate your house. You could make the town yours. Not to mention the shops were so fun. It was the first time you could work for Brewster, as well as you were the mayor of your town, so you could make decisions about buildings and even simple things like putting a bench somewhere. 2DS had a camera, which for as poor quality as it was still fun to use. One time I even took pictures and videos of the Blue Angels. Or maybe it was the Thunderbirds. Either way, it was really fun. I even took a stop-motion video of my Godzilla figure walking. I certainly hope the next console has a camera on it. The world was blown away in 2016 when the Switch was announced. I watched the first presentation of it and instantly wanted one. The problem was that, at the time, I was too young to have a job besides mowing lawns. So, for a time, I gave up hope of ever getting one. But one day in late 2019, I had a thought. What if I did odd jobs for people I knew and saved up for it? And that's exactly what I did. I set out to work for family and neighbors. It took about 6 months for me to save up for it. I kept in mind the price of the console, the game, tax, and the protection plan I fully planned on buying, because I feel like Murphy's Law is almost real when it comes to expensive things. I was partway there when I decided to buy Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yes, I bought the game before the console, but I didn't care. I wanted it to be my first game. I looked at that game almost every day as I waited to have enough money for the Switch. Then came the day I finally had enough to buy it. It was during the great Switch shortage of 2020, I'm sure you all can remember. I was so disappointed. It helped teach me though, that even in disappointment, God can still bring us great joy. Not that the disappointment brings us joy, but rather God gives us joy despite the disappointment. On August 20th, 2020, I finally was able to buy a Switch. I rounded the corner at Walmart's electronics department, and to my surprise, there was one sitting in the case. And it was the last one, in fact. It felt like it was specifically for me. But of course, I forgot my wallet that day. So I had to ask my mom to buy it for me and pay her back when we got home. She was willing to do so, which made my day. And again, thank you, Mom, for doing that. I had forgotten how wonderful a feeling it is to start up a brand new Nintendo console. Not to mention a brand new town in Animal Crossing. I planned long before exactly what I would name my island. Petalburg. I named it after the town in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. It is one of my favorite towns in the game, and I wanted to name it after Petalburg because it was a quiet and peaceful village, just like the one I was about to put 300 plus hours into. And how could I make a video about gaming without mentioning masterpieces like Wii Sports Resort, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Sunshine? I have so many good memories of going around Woohoo Island with my sister. We would make Miis that looked like us, ones that looked like characters from the A-Team, anime, and so many other shows. She was better at some sports than I, and vice versa. If there was any location from a video game that I could make real, Woohoo Island would be at the very top of my list. It's a beautiful island, and the memories I've made there are irreplaceable. 2019 was a very rough year for me, and I feel God was able to use Splatoon 2 to ease the pain and redirect my mind toward better things. That year, my dad changed jobs several times, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and my grandfather fell ill and died. Not to mention, my mom went through chemo. I had to grow up right then and there. That's when I learned to do laundry, cook, and take care of a 2-year-old nephew, as well as my mom with the help of my sister. At the time, my dad had to be at work most of the day, and my brother already moved out. My sister and I watched his son while he worked, which was an adventure in itself. God was my strength. He was why I could get through that year sane. And as I was saying earlier, he used Splatoon to help me. I learned to be more accepting of people, to try new things, and to get out of my comfort zone with clothes, to try something different. It also took my mind off the current situation long enough for me to think clearly. Not as an escape, but rather to help me refocus. I watched Xcot Games play a lot of Splatoon 2, and fan dubs were fun to watch. People are so creative with those. My brother was much better at Super Mario Sunshine than I was, probably because he was older than me. But I always wondered back then why. He inspired me to get better, to improve to the level he was at, and beyond. I eventually did improve enough to beat the game. Something about Delfino Plaza feels like home to me. It's still my favorite 3D Mario game. The others are great, but nothing compares to the sun-drenched lands of the game. Thank you for letting me ramble on about my history with video games. If you let me, I would be here all day talking about the games I love, and the memories I have with them. But, alas, the video must come to a close. Thank you so much for watching. What memories do you have with video games? Share them in the comments below. I would love to hear them, and they would mean a lot to me. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.